So we're going to be talking about layer 2 networking and layer 2 attacks. And the first thing I want to show is there's an ARP table here. And since this particular system hasn't been communicating with much of anything else on the network, there's really only one entry in the ARP table here, and that's the router or the gateway that's on this particular network. So I'm going to fire up a couple of utilities here. And the first one I'm going to be starting is Wireshark, which is a packet capture utility. And the next one I'm going to be firing up is the utility that I'm going to be using to do some layer 2 attacks here. Now, what you may have heard is that switches will protect you at layer 2 because switches, rather than broadcast messages, you end up with unicast messages, which means the only thing you see on your system is messages that are directed to you. So what I want to do here is show you, I'm going to show you the IP address that is on this particular system, and you can see it's 1.20. Now what I'm going to do is use EtherCap to do something called ARP spoofing. And I'm going to look for hosts on this network. And then I'm going to bring up my host list. And you can see a number of hosts here. So I'm going to do my target lists. So you can see I'm adding some things to target 1. And then I'm adding some things to target 2. And I may as well add the router to target 1. So man-in-the-middle attacks here, there's a number of different things that EtherCap can do. The one that I'm going to be doing here is ARP poisoning. And I'm going to have it sniff remote connections. And so what it's going to be doing is sending out what we call gratuitous ARPs. And we should be able to take a look at that here pretty quickly. If I were to do a filter here of ARPs, you can see the is at, and you can see here, I'm going to stop this capture. You can see here that I've got a number of different IP addresses, but it's all pointing to the same MAC address. And that's because what EtherCap is doing is it's telling everybody on the network that all of these IP addresses are at my local MAC address. And that gets messages from everywhere on the network sent to me. So I'm going to clear this. And I'm going to see what we've got here for messages that are going on, and I should see, in addition to the ARP, I should see a lot of different messages going to systems on my network. Even though my network isn't particularly busy, I should still see different messages that are going on here, and I'm going to stop the capture just so that I can see what's happening. So here's a couple, for example. I've got 1.44 to 1.15, and I can see that that's a TCP message. And that's two different systems on my network, and I can assure you that I am connected through actually multiple switches, but the system I'm on right now is a switch, and the systems that these two systems are connected to are switches as well. So I'm not seeing traffic that's passing across a hub here I am actually seeing messages that are on a switch, which again should be unicast, and I shouldn't see anything other than broadcast messages and unicast messages directed specifically to my system. So let's just a reminder here, 1.20 is my system, and the messages I'm seeing here, well, I've got 1.1 to 1.44, neither of which are mine. And I've got 1.44 to 1.15. Neither of those, again, are mine. So you can see how Ettercap has set up a man-in-the-middle attack and is getting all layer 2 traffic redirected to me. So right now I'm going to stop the man-in-the-middle attacks. And what that's going to do is release all of the ARP entries and stop the gratuitous ARPs and return everybody's ARP table to the state that it should have been with or in when we started the attack. And that's how layer 2 attacks work and what gratuitous ARPs are and the types of things that you can do with them.